Khalid Akhtar. It is Stories of the Week, 2nd of August 2020. It's Eid week. And good morning, lads.
Good morning. Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak to you. Eid Mubarak to you, Aris.
Yeah, thank you again, Mubarak. Good morning. It's going to be a good show today. Happy.
Inshallah, we're all bubbling, buzzing, and ready to go.
How has your week been?
My week's been steady. Been looking forward to this show and also trying to celebrate Shabaz's birthday.
Thanks very much.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Belated.
birthday.
Very much. It's 25 feels amazing. You know, it's
That's just his elbows, 25 years each.
no, birthdays aren't the same as what they used to be when you were kids. But had a mini celebration at home with the family. So thanks for everyone for all their effort. So it's been a productive week. How about yourself, Aris? Good week?
It's been alright. Been chilling. Had guests come over.
Okay.
For
Social distancing,
yeah,
of course.
social distancing
Yes.
for Eid. Well, it's been good.
Excellent.
And of course, Eid as well. How did your Eid go? Did you go to read your prayers?
Yes, I did. I thought, I have to say hats off to the masjid for their organisation. And
Really?
Yeah, I think...
You know what? Last week I praised the masjid. This week I'm not.
Why is that then?
So me and Aris, we went 8 a.m.
Right.
8 a.m.
Okay.
start, yeah.
Fine.
Did it start at 8 a.m.?
No.
8:15 a.m. it started. So people like me who have to go to work,
Yeah.
I'm there looking, I'm giving them the eyes, and I'm getting frustrated with other people. People coming in, 5 more minutes, and I'm really getting angry now inside myself.
But
And
in your history, Khalid, when has Eid ever started on time? We used to have the usual 9:30, 10 o'clock.
normally 8 o'clock ones do
Do they?
because you don't get up that
No,
early,
no.
so you wouldn't know. But 8 o'clock ones always start on time. That's why I go to them, so it's done, dusted, and I could carry on with my day's work. But then I decided to do Jummah prayer.
Right.
Jummah prayer, what time does it start?
Half past one.
Did it start at 1:30?
What time did it start?
10 to 2.
Okay.
10 to 2.
I think-
At this point, I'm boiling. I am really boiling because it's hot.
Yeah.
They haven't put the air conditioning on because I think they're trying to save money. And my temperature, even though it was 33,
I think you need to give them some benefit of the doubt. They do have to social distance. All
I
the people
understand
coming
that,
in
but people are off. They're not working. It's Eid.
Yeah.
They could get there 1 o'clock strolling. So I had a word with the chairman
Yeah.
afterwards. I said, what's happening? He goes, what shall I do? I says, why don't you lock the doors at 1:30? Lock the doors, turn them away. Easy.
You can't do that, though, can you?
Well, I was in a mood. So, if I
think-
was the chairman, I would do it.
I think you're still in the mood a little bit, but it's okay. We can cheer up now with
I
the
took
show.
you off my chest
You've
now,
got
so
it.
let's carry on. It is the 2nd of August. It's Sunday morning. We've got 1.5 hours of stories from around the world, and I'll start off with. Have you checked under your sofa?
No.
What
No.
do you usually find underneath your sofa, in between the cushions?
Bits of toys, probably bits of old Cocoa Pops or something that my children have eaten or something like that.
Well, I normally find coins.
Yeah,
Okay.
1 or 2 p's coins.
Yeah. Check your sofa. There's 120 million pounds worth of old pound coins that's still missing. Almost 3 years after they stopped being legal tender. So, the old coins,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's 120 million pounds
Maybe,
worth.
maybe people are just keeping them as memorabilia, maybe.
120 million?
That's a lot of coins. It's a lot.
Royal Mint chiefs say 1.58 billion round coins were returned to be swapped, but 122 million of the old coins were never sent back after the change in 2017. Officials revealed nearly 1.5 million fake £1 coins were among the coins returned. So
Wow.
there's a lot of coins out there.
There is a lot of coins. Talking about coins, I'm not sure if you remember this yourself, Aris, but have you ever had the opportunity to sellotape coins to a cardboard piece of paper and send them in the post for a competition? Have you ever done anything like that?
No, I haven't.
So
Yes, I remember.
So that's how we used to enter competitions in the past. So, if you want to buy something, or you had to sellotape coins to the envelope and send them in. So no
Yeah.
sort of sending money via PayPal or none of that. It was
Yeah.
really old school. So
Yeah.
maybe a lot of those got lost in the post, maybe.
Maybe. We have a competition running, and for the listeners and audiences on Facebook and YouTube, you could see a hamper right now in the middle of our table. Aris, if you would like to point to it.
Hello, this is the hamper.
It is a hamper. It's full of goodies, lots of natural products in there, lots of nuts. So if you're allergy to nuts, do not enter the competition. And friends and family, you are not allowed to enter the competition. And whoever enters the competition needs to come to the studio and pick it up. It's a big hamper.
It is a
It
big
took
thing,
two of us to bring it up the stairs this morning. So
Got a lot of good goodies in there, though. You got your cashew nuts, your pistachios, and a whole array of nuts and seeds.
yeah, so we'll launch the competition. What's today's competition,
Well,
young
today's
Aris?
competition is you either ring in, which is the number 01902 972 150, or text in 07440 420 432. And remember, if you ring in and get the question right, you get your name 2 times on the
In the draw.
Yeah. And if you text in, you get 1 time. But the question today is: in which city did our holy prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam pass away? So, in which city did our holy prophet pass away?
If you know the answer.
I know the answer.
Yeah.
you
It's
know the
not
answer?
that hard.
I think I do.
Okay.
I was there this year. And talking about this year, if anybody out there hasn't seen my vlog on YouTube, have you seen it, Shabazz?
I've seen it, yeah. It's,
Yeah.
Is it the 2.5 hour one?
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is really good.
Yes, I had
anybody-
to watch it in parts, but it was
Yeah.
good.
If anyone wants to go and do Umrah or Hajj, you need to see this. It is absolutely amazing. Go onto YouTube, go into, just type Umrah 2020, and you'll come across Journey to the Center of the World.
Yeah.
And there's a vlog of me doing Umrah, and it's all recorded.
And how lucky you were to get there just before the lockdown.
I know. I think
mean-
I'm one of the few people in the world who were privileged enough
Yeah.
in 2020 to do Umrah so
Yeah,
far.
mashallah,
So thank
mashallah.
you, Lord. God, thank you very much.
So have you made the heat wave that's been sweltering across Europe this week? I know we've only had one day on Friday.
That's why my temperature was high, because I was sitting in the mosque. It was really hot, and
It's beautiful, though, isn't
it
it?
was nice. I had my shorts on like I have today.
Shorts on in the mosque?
Not in the mosque.
Oh, right, okay.
In the afternoon. I
Fine.
went back. I couldn't wait to take my trousers off. But yeah, it was a beautiful weather.
Yeah, so just talking about the heat, Western Europe sweltered under a heat wave. So I know we only had one day, but Europeans are lucky enough to have this heat wave go over for a couple of days. They've wilted under intense heat on Friday, with socially distanced crowds seeking relief in fountains and pools, as authorities warned of health and wildfire risks. So you wouldn't want to be jumping in fountains in the middle of a
No.
pandemic, would you?
But maybe this person might on the road.
Have we got a caller?
We have got a live caller.
Bring
Assalamu
him on.
alaikum. Hello. Hello.
Walaikum assalam.
Wa alaikum salam. This is young Ikra Khan. Is that right?
Yes,
Assalamu alaikum.
yes.
How are you doing? Eid Mubarak, by the way.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so much happier listening to
Yeah,
your
Eid
voice.
Mubarak.
Khair Mubarak. So what are you doing this Sunday morning?
Thank you.
Yes, what are you
I
doing?
just woke up and I had my breakfast.
Excellent, excellent. And did you want to enter our competition?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the question again, Naris?
Well, the question is: in which city did our holy prophet pass away?
Ikra, what's the answer?
Medina.
Medina.
Yes, that is correct.
Medina.
Medina. Okay, your answer is in the draw. Well
Right,
done.
Yeah, well done.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you, Ikra. Do you want to say hello to anybody?
Thank you.
Okay. I think.
I want to say Eid Mubarak to everybody.
Oh, Ikra, thank you very much. Khair Mubarak
Khair
to you.
Mubarak.
Take care. Bye.
Lovely caller.
She's. I think
Thank
what
you.
we have. Ikra Khan has got the answer right. I think we might have to get another question
Yes,
because
yeah.
young Aris has given.
Yes, I accidentally gave the answer away.
Okay, so if you pick another one, and
Okay, I've got another one.
have you?
Who was the first man to accept Islam?
Who was the first man to accept Islam? Is that man or person or
A man.
man?
Who's the first man?
Who was the first man to accept Islam? And this time, Aris, please don't
Yes,
give the
I
answer
won't give it
away.
away till the end. My bad.
You're bad. Any stories from you from the youth zone?
Well, I've got one here. Beach bag item. Mum swears for removing stubborn sand. So do you know when you go to the beach? Well, of course, beaches are opening now. And do you know when you go to the beach and get sand all over your feet?
Yeah.
And it gets stuck there. Well, this mom took to TikTok how to get it off. So all you have to do is put some baby powder or talcum powder on your feet, and then it should get all the sand off.
Wow.
There you are, Shabazz. One for you when you
There you
take
go.
the kids to the beach.
Talcum powder and what was it, Ari? Sorry.
Or talcum powder or just baby powder, and you just sprinkle it, and then the sand should all come off.
But I've never had a problem with sand. You just wash your feet, don't you? Or jump into the pool, isn't that?
Because you still always have that little bits of sand,
Yeah.
Right,
you know,
okay. There's
in,
nothing-
in the between your toes.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than that, is it?
No,
Working
it's-
with flip flops.
Exactly. Sorry to interrupt you,
No
Shiraz.
problem.
We'll get back to you.
Just going back to that heat wave. So from Britain to Italy, temperatures have been around 40 degrees Celsius, which is 104 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's made wearing face masks extremely difficult. Can you imagine wearing a face mask in 40-degree heat? Well, you had to in the mosque, didn't you? So,
Exactly.
so as many more cities begin requiring them to be worn outdoors to prevent surges of this coronavirus, even if in this stifling heat, it's better to put on a 38-degree mask than catch the coronavirus, said doctors. 14 Italian cities were placed on high alert, while France issued warnings about one-third of the country's 101 departments. So yeah, heat wave ravaging across Europe, Khalid.
Talking about the COVID, wasn't it coincidence that on Eid night, the night before Eid, Boris Johnson pipes up and says, everyone up north, you are not allowed to meet up just before Eid day.
I think it was absolutely terrible. I think we should give this the time it deserves. So what were your thoughts on this? Because he did this tweet about 12, was it 11 o'clock at night?
It was late Thursday evening. He put a statement out that anybody Manchester, was it Blackburn?
Yeah, so it's all of
Huddersfield,
Greater
Manchester, cannot meet up.
So that's all your Oldhams, your Buries, your Rochdales,
That's
all,
all
of
the Muslim.
that. All the Muslim, yeah.
Yeah,
How
Muslim.
must the auntie have felt halfway cooking their biryanis and
Exactly.
their
They,
javas?
you know, they don't make for one person.
No.
They make for 20 families.
You know what people could have done? The pubs were still open, so theoretically people could have gone with their families to a pub. You know, ordered pints of mango.
Toba astaghfar.
On Eid.
No, well, I'm not saying they're drinking. They could have ordered pints of mango lassi, you know, played a bit of pool with their grandma, and you know, it's. So I thought it was very ironic that you're still allowed to meet in restaurants and pubs, but you can't meet your family
In your
home,
house.
yeah,
Yeah,
so it's bizarre. I think it's not clear, is it? The guidelines. For
you
us,
know,
unfortunately.
and I think wedding receptions are now shut as well.
Again, right?
So anybody thinking of getting married again, you know, plans have been destroyed again for them couples.
You know what? I've been hearing a lot of tweets and a lot of social media about this particular thing about people saying Boris is being racist and is only doing it to Muslims. I think we're a little bit naive in saying that. I think we're up to fault ourselves, if that makes sense, because we just don't listen, do we? I mean, when we were supposed to be locked down, if you had a look on Winslow Road, Ladypool Road, there were just still people out, no social distancing. I think we're our own worst enemy sometimes.
I agree with you. Last week, before I shut the show, I told everyone there was an iPhone hack that I wanted to share with the listeners.
Go for it.
So how to unlock your iPhone without using a PIN or face recognition. A clever hack allows people to open their device instantly, even while wearing a face mask, by uttering a simple phrase.
Okay.
So if you want to watch this video back, you know, the live stream, you could watch it, or you could do it as I speak on your iPhone. The voice control must be enabled for this trick to work. Users must navigate to settings, accessibilities, and then voice control. After selecting customized commands, they name the verbal command, then record an action. In this case, typing in a PIN code or on the keypad. Speaking the command should make the phone type in the PIN itself and unlock. So,
Wow.
so
You can say a word and it will
you
unlock
could
your
say
phone.
Eid Mubarak.
Or Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Exactly.
Or something, yeah.
Or just simply open phone.
Open sesame.
Open
Yes.
to you.
It's
Yeah,
got it
so
like
I
that.
like that one. Anyway, this must be hard for some women. You know, this face recognition.
Yeah.
You know, when they put all these layers of makeup on, do you think the phone still recognises them?
Or vice versa.
Or when they get up first thing in the morning, and they want to use their phone. I bet you these women must be like, why did I get this iPhone? Because their makeup's come off, and it's always half off
Yeah.
and half on, and the phone's thinking, who is this?
Or maybe put two different faces on there. The phone might just think it's two different faces. But no, great story.
Yeah, so the iPhone hack.
Wow.
Well, Houdini kitten rescued from 3 vehicles in one day. Rescues had to partially dismantle 3 vehicles to save the cat, with the whole operation lasting several hours. The kitten is believed to be between 6 and 12 weeks old and has been named Lucy. Well, basically, I think the kittens got trapped in somehow like 3 cars, which is... The RSPCA was called to a car park when a member of the public heard a cat crying from a Volkswagen Golf. So they had to dismantle about 3 cars.
To get to this cat.
Yeah, to get to one cat.
Wow, it's
Did they get the cat?
Yeah, they got the cat, and it was fine, but it took 8 hours to get the cat. So.
and someone's insurance
Yeah.
going up as well. With them all them
Absolutely.
cars
Yeah, I
probably
know.
rip the roof off. All the
Do you think it was like they couldn't tell which car the cat was coming from, so they just got the things off every car?
Maybe. I mean, I've never owned a cat, so I don't know what cat's behaviour is like. I know you've got a cat, haven't you?
Yeah, I've
Iris?
got a cat, but she never got into the car.
Right. Okay.
Well,
Not yet.
not like into the
Into the
bonnet or
engine.
anything. She's got into the car, like maybe to go to the vet, but
Oh, right.
not
okay.
got stuck in the car.
You guys remember the Argos books?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, you do remember something then,
Wait,
Iris?
which books?
Argos.
The
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 catalogues,
catalogue. Yeah,
yeah.
I remember that.
Have you got one at home?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Well, COVID's killed the Argos book off.
Okay.
Yeah, so stop
shame.
dreaming about these books. After 47 years and 1 billion copies, the famous catalogue will be online only from now on.
So what, Argos are going online? They're shutting their stores, or
No, it's
Is
just
it-
the books.
the books itself,
Yeah,
right.
so if you want to see a picture, it's got to be online.
so what happens when you go into Argos? Because they've got all the books laid out, haven't they?
Yeah.
And you could flick through them.
I think they maybe will be on the
iPads
screens
or
or
something,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, it's iPads now, isn't it?
It's a shame, isn't it?
It is good old days, you
Yeah,
know.
it is.
It's nice. How much would you spend on your lady for a handbag?
Whatever my wife asks for. Karen.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, Amnish is listening in. You know, ask and you will get today. Snapped up a Hermes handbag made out of crocodile skin sets new world record with £230,000 price tag
For a handbag.
for a handbag.
Wow.
I know our young Alvina Ali. She loves her handbags.
Okay. Did
She might have one of these, you know.
You wouldn't be surprised.
You know, or maybe somebody might sell one on a swap shop.
Maybe, you never know. Or it may be one from Turkey. You never know.
The Hermes, I'm not saying it right. The Hermes,
Hermes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hermes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you've gotta say it there.
look like a disease. Then, not the way I'm saying Hermes. The Hermes Himalaya Birkin bag sold for £230,000, setting a new world record. It was brought during an online sale held by London-based auctioneers Christie's. The bag is made from the skin of a crocodile found in Africa.
Bit ridiculous, I think, Khalid, if you ask me. 230k for a handbag. People have got more money than sense.
Exactly.
I mean, rich people would be buying it. Do you think many rich people?
Well, you have to be super rich to be buying
Yeah, I know.
that type
I
of
think you got to be a billionaire to buy these bags.
I think so, yeah, when money's no object.
Yeah. Well, have you heard TikTok's President Trump says he'll ban it in the US?
Has he?
Yeah.
So apparently today, Trump's banning TikTok in the US,
Really?
Wow.
which will be a big hit to people. President Donald Trump says he plans to ban TikTok in the United States. The video sharing app is one of the fastest growing social platforms in the world and has been downloaded by more than 2 billion times. TikTok is used by 80 million Americans every month and has the US is also home to its biggest star, Charlie D'Amelio, who has over 75 million followers. But some, including the president, have expressed concerns about the app, which is owned by Chinese firm ByteDance. Mr. Trump has told journalists a ban could start as early as Saturday, but is not clear how it will work.
So do you think this is just Donald Trump trying to get back at China?
China, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I think it's been banned in a few countries, hasn't it, I think?
Yes, yeah,
In
has.
India, I think, banned it due to their conflict in the northern region. Now the
Yes,
States, I heard the UK were potentially going to be banning it. not good news.
Yeah. I
But,
mean, it's like a big platform that everyone's using at the
yeah,
moment.
but there is
so-
some big news coming out of TikTok, which I will cover off when we hit the world news.
And I've also got some news about a rival TikTok firm being launched very soon, which will be coming up later as well. Also, just it was Hajj, of course, this week.
Alhamdulillah, yes, it was.
Did you know 244 people got arrested at Hajj?
What for?
Well, you got 244 imposters trying to do Hajj without being invited to do it.
So what were they? Was there checks and stuff at all these places?
Obviously, there were
or-
checks and
No
they
way.
didn't have the right criteria,
Wow.
so they got arrested. And there's a picture online that you could see all these Hajjis, well, pretend Hajjis, in the Irams, sitting on the floor with police surrounding them. 244 of them.
Wow.
Well,
You
how
just-
many people actually do in Hajj?
Only 10,000 this year.
And 244 got arrested.
244 got arrested because they wanted to join in, obviously, because
I did see pictures of the Haram Sharif with people reading namaz with social distancing in place. So yeah, it's good to see people back, and hopefully it'll just continue from here.
excellent. We've had our first text message for the answer. Salam's Eid Mubarak competition answer is Sister Naseem, correct.
She's got it correct.
Correct. Aris, if you give the answer again and
No, the question.
the
Yeah,
question.
I'm not going to give the answer again.
You sure?
The question is, who was the first man to accept Islam? You can either call in, which the number is 01902 972 150, or you can text in 07440 420 432.
And if you're watching us online, you could see this hamper package right in the center of the table right now. And Aris is just turning it for you, yes.
Yeah, and if anyone knows how much a bag of pistachio nuts cost, you can see that's a decent hamper there.
That's, I reckon that looking 50, 60 quid hamper there.
Yeah, at least. At least.
So, yeah, if you
And you
want to,
can get that for completely free.
completely free, courtesy of Stories of the Week.
Albeit there's a couple of bags missing, and I saw some empty bags in your car. Al,
They're
which
not. Don't be silly. I wouldn't do that. The more money you have, the more sleep you get.
Okay.
Study finds those who make 400% above the poverty line
You alright?
are more likely to get 8 hours of rest each night.
Did you get any rest tonight?
Does it look like it? Yeah, I'm choking on my own voices at the moment. So yeah, you need
Yeah.
to have make 400% over the poverty line to
To get good sleep.
to get good sleep and even talk properly.
Yeah. Well, no. Just to be fair, I think that's driven by how many children you have as well. Because
Yeah.
I think before we had children, my sleep was majestic.
Better,
Yeah.
and then you got children and they crying during the night.
Well, I mean, look, I'm being a little bit unfair. I think my kids have sort of slept through most nights, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, my wife might disagree because she says they always get up 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
they didn't. They didn't get up at all.
Maybe
'cause,
they just wake your wife up, but
I
not
think
you.
I think that might be it. So yeah, great work for Amna there. How's that throat?
It's got better since I've had
It's all those pistachio nuts you've got stuck in there.
oh sugar. More stories of the week coming here. I'm going to quick one. Chancellor Rishi Sunak mulls tax online sales to raise £2 billion for government coffers and help save the high street.
Government coffers.
Yes. Pardon the pun, yes. With the high street decimated amid the coronavirus lockdown and huge numbers of job cuts and store closures, the Chancellor is looking at proposals to level the playing field. He's examining introducing online sales taxes to provide a sustainable and meaningful revenue source for the government, which allowing physical stores to compete. So basically, he wants to raise £2 billion and charge companies like Amazon that we've been using in lockdown
Yeah.
because they're making more money.
Well, I think that's fair. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. As long as the tax doesn't come to us, working class individuals, because I think we pay enough
So
as it is.
what do you think's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Go on.
Amazon's going to think, they're putting taxes up. Let's put the prices up.
Maybe.
And who's going to suffer?
The general public.
Tom Jones himself. So, yeah, it's all bad news.
It is bad news. It is bad news. I'm just going to touch on another story. How long have we got until our
1
next
minute.
break? We've got 1 minute. So
Let's just so we go to the competition again.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do
so
that.
the competition is, well, the question is today, in which city did our holy prophet pass away? You can either call in or text in.
So we had that.
We had that one first, and you give the answer away.
Oh, yeah, and who was the first man to accept Islam? That is the question today.
He's having a bad morning, isn't he?
Yeah, I think,
don't think he had his 400% sleep, did
No,
he?
I
No.
think I need to have some pistachios. I think that'll probably help.
Our fine colleague Alvina is texting as well. She's sent us a random cat jumped into my cat, Ari's. Jumped into my cat. A random cat jumped into my cat. I think she must have said car.
Maybe car, yeah.
so I'm gonna-
Predictive text, maybe.
We're going to watch the video while we have a 4-minute break. How about that? We'll catch you right after these fine words. Welcome back to the second part of Stories of the Week with myself, Khalid, Aris, and Shabazz. It is the 2nd of August. It's time for stories from around the world in 80 seconds or so.
Yeah, we're going to do a whistle-stop tour, a usual segment in the week around the world. So trying covering some countries off that we've not been done before. So let's move into Russia. So being Russia and as ruthless as they are, Russia health authorities are preparing to start a mass vaccination campaign against coronavirus in October, the health minister has said. Russian media quoted Mikhail Musarov as saying doctors and teachers would be the first to receive the vaccine. Reuters, citing anonymous sources, said Russia's first potential vaccine would be approved by regulators this month. However, some experts are concerned at Russia's fast-track approach. And on Friday, the leading infectious disease expert in the US, Dr. Anthony Fauci, said he hoped that Russia and China were actually testing vaccines before administering them to anyone. So
It'd be a good idea, wouldn't it?
it would be a good idea, but it just seems very soon, doesn't it? Given that the rest of the West are saying that end of the year, early parts of next year, we'll find a vaccine. You know, Russia are just ploughing on with
Their own vaccine.
with their own vaccine, yeah. So moving across into China. So China celebrates completion of the satellite navigation system. So China celebrated the completion of its Beidou navigation satellite system that could rival the US global positioning system, also known as GPS, and significantly boost its security and geopolitical clout. President Xi Jinping, the leader of the ruling Communist Party and the People's Liberation Army, officially commissioned the system on Friday at a ceremony at the Great Hall of People in Beijing. So maybe a rival to GPS, Khalid. China's at the forefront once again.
Would you fancy a GPS female Chinese-speaking person on your sat-nav at home?
It probably wouldn't bother me, to be fair. I always turn it down anyway.
What do you want? What are you saying?
I always turn it down because I prefer just to watch. But I've got a head-up display in my car, so I don't really need anyone to talk. Moving swiftly across into the USA. So you mentioned TikTok potentially getting banned in the UK and the US. It might not get banned if Microsoft have got anything to do with it. So how do you lift a TikTok ban? Well, you buy it, of course. So Microsoft Corporation is in talks to buy the ByteDance-owned TikTok, the New York Times reported on Friday. The discussions between Microsoft and TikTok were reported earlier on Friday by Fox Business and could pave the way for a groundbreaking deal. So I'll tell you what, if Microsoft buy TikTok, I think that's game over, isn't it?
It is.
They're going to take that to a new level.
Whilst you're on TikTok, Instagram is offering hundreds of thousands of dollars to TikTok's most popular creators to lure them into its rival video platform called Reels. So this is new, it's coming out soon. Instagram is due to launch Reels, its short-form video service, in the app in August, so this month. To promote the launch, it is approaching high-earning TikTok stars to lure them, according to unnamed sources. Instagram is offering them hundreds of thousands to post exclusively on Reels. They are also offering other monies to post first on Reels and then later on TikTok. So
Wow.
they're luring them in.
They are, yeah. They are. So it's going to get big, isn't it, TikTok?
Yeah,
I
well,
think.
it's just another way of making money and getting stuff. Well, a few years ago, TikTok was actually called Musical.ly, and then someone bought it and named it TikTok. So do you think Microsoft buy it, they'll change the name?
I don't know. I think, in Pakistan, they love TikTok, don't they?
Yeah.
And, so who knows? But moving across from the US up into Canada, another Guinness World Record broken. So a man bikes more than 7,000 miles in 30 days to break the world record. A Manitoba man broke his second Guinness World Record when he rode his bicycle more than 7,000 miles in 1 month, and he hasn't finished yet. 63-year-old Arvid Lohman surpassed the milestone world record set by British man Mark Bowman in 2017 on Wednesday evening, and said he will continue to ride until he reaches a 30-day limit for the record on Thursday evening. I beat the record, but I also want to set a higher standard so that the next person will have a little bit more work to do. So, 7,000 miles in a month.
That's a lot of
Wow,
miles.
fair play to him.
It's a lot of miles. And just our final story, moving across into Japan, as dancing robots replace fans at Japanese baseball games. So I know Molyneux have got a picture of you
Yeah.
in the Steve Ball stand, I believe.
No,
Was it
the Jack Harris.
Is it the Jack Harris?
Yes.
Have you a picture of you as well, Harris?
No, I didn't do it.
You didn't do it, right? Have you seen yourself yet, Khalid?
Yes, I have.
On TV?
Not on TV, but I bloated the picture up
Right.
so you
Okay.
could see my face.
Right. Okay. So
I'll send it to you later.
yeah, please do, please do. So Japan are taking it one step further, with stadiums devoured of fans due to the coronavirus restrictions. Japanese baseball team Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks have come up with an imaginative replacement: dancing robots. So before the most recent game against the Rutan Eagles on Tuesday, over 20 robots danced to the team's fight song on the podium in an otherwise empty stand. Two different types of robots, one that looked like a dog and one that's called Pepper, basically did a routine to replace the 40,000 fans that would normally have been
Well,
there.
that's something new.
Yeah, very new because we've done this story 2 weeks ago.
It happened again this week.
Oh, again.
Yeah, so this is
Oh,
at the latest.
But this one's not with the dog and the
Yeah.
the cat.
So this is an NBL game which happened on Friday.
Yeah.
So it's current news, not 2 weeks ago. And the teams were called Rutan Eagles and what was the other one called? SoftBank Hawks.
SoftBank Hawks.
Yeah.
Wow. Loads happening. Oh, you know what? I've got so many good stories here. We need to start going through these very quick. All over 40s could face higher taxes to help fund the cost of care, which is expected to soar by an extra £7 billion a year. So you'll be in that league next year.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm trying to get to your level.
Prime Minister Boris Johnson considering options to end the social care crisis. He's under pressure to solve the issue he promised to fix more than a year ago. Johnson wants to stop older people selling their homes to cover the cost of their care.
It's quite sad, isn't it?
It is said. Alvina sent a video of a cat jumping into her car.
Okay.
And
Just now,
Just
or-
now. Random, isn't it? We're talking about cats getting stuck in cars, and
Yeah.
she just posted a video.
She needs to stop buying all those fancy convertibles. I think
It
that's
is.
what
Yeah,
it
the
is.
That's
cats are getting attracted.
Also, Fiaz, Salam brother Kal Shawaz, and Ari's good show as always, mashallah.
Thanks, yeah.
Keep up the good work. Just wanted to mention that you guys are doing a great show. So
Well,
thank you
thank
very
you.
much. Eid Mubarak to you, all in the studio, and all the listeners. That's from Fiaz Ahmed.
Thank you very much for us.
And I
Eid
think
Mubarak.
his show will be back on next week. He's had a few weeks break because of
Okay.
Eid, you know.
Yeah,
He likes to take 2 weeks off.
fine.
He's back next Saturday.
So who's been filling in for him, do we know?
Fiaz Ahmed.
And as in who's been filling in?
Fiaz Ahmed.
Oh, right, okay.
Pre-recorded shows. Fiaz Ahmed.
Fair enough.
Well, do you guys like Marvel Avengers?
Yeah, big fan.
Nope.
Yeah. No, you don't?
Nope.
Well, Marvel Avengers stars say they're not doing enough for diversity. Anthony Mackie says Marvel and other Hollywood studios are not doing enough for inclusivity in movies, but the actor who plays the Falcon in the Avengers and Captain America movies believes it's not because of racism, it's down to unawareness. Mackie spoke up to explain what he meant after recently criticised his employers, Marvel, saying that the studio has a lack of diversity on and off screen. While commenting on the Black Lives Matter movement last month, Mackie said, "It really bothered me that I've done 7 Marvel movies where every producer, every director, every stunt person, every costume designer, every PA, every single person has been white." So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think I'm hoping this is bringing it to the forefront of people's minds. I think the Rooney Rule that's been implemented in the NFL is really good. So as long as they're interviewing black people, we're not saying that.
Yeah, as long as they're including more people, then it should
Yeah,
be
I, mean,
okay.
I don't think we should. I don't think you have to include black or Asian people by default. They've got to be good enough to do the job, right? So
Yeah.
if they'd interviewed black people and you still have everyone who's white there, then that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that because they've got their own merit.
Yeah, maybe it's not even racism. Maybe it's just how it is. Maybe like who,
I think there probably is parts. I think it's naive to say there's no racism in Hollywood. But nevertheless, I think things are starting to change slowly.
Got a nice little story here. Adorable moment. Kentucky couple surprised grandparents by revealing their newborn daughter has a twin brother they kept secret during lockdown.
Oh,
So really nice video if you've seen it online. Brinkley Hope and Ace Leo were born June the 13th, but no one knew their parents Tom and Brianne were expecting twins. Video footage from July the 10th shows the moment they surprised the newborn grandparents who knew about only the granddaughter Brinkley, but not the little boy. That's the real baby's name. The grandmother says, with her eyes wide, "Are you kidding?" The couple surprised family and friends visiting their home or on video calls. They were able to keep the news of the twins a secret because no one was allowed to visit the hospital due to the coronavirus pandemic. So basically, the grandparents were in a room with a little baby girl, and the father walks around with another baby, and the grandmother, she goes, "Is that real?" And when he says it is, they just broke out crying because there was another baby in the house.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's really, I think it's quite unique as well. I don't think anyone's ever had the opportunity to do that because
No.
there's very.
I mean, it's hard to keep a kid secret that you've just
But I think
gave birth to.
being the pandemic and not able to visit the hospital, I think it made it easier.
Easier.
Yeah.
But no, great story. But I've got a story which kind of links into that really. So, what do you think the cost is to give birth according to the NHS? So how much would it cost if you had to pay?
Pay to get a baby delivered. Depends on how many hours the labour was.
£7,400
Wow.
is the cost. So a mum to be faces a £7,400 bill to give birth after being stranded in the UK by the pandemic. So a mum to be married to a Brit is facing a massive bill by the NHS if she gives birth in the UK as she's unable to return to her homeland because of the coronavirus pandemic. Ammon Marshall and her husband Andrew, a British citizen, came to the UK in January to visit his family from their home in China. But the pandemic then hit, leaving the couple stranded and unable to get home. And since then, the 28-year-old has fallen pregnant. However, her visa is expiring at the end of August, and she could be forced out of the UK and back to China without Andrew, who is not allowed to go back to the Asian country because he is a British citizen. And even if Ammon's visa is extended to allow her to give birth here, the couple will be left saddled with a £7,400 bill to give birth in an NHS hospital because Ammon is not a UK resident.
See, I don't understand this. If you're pregnant, why are you flying? Why are you
Yeah.
travelling? You know, especially in this late in
Well,
pregnancy.
no, she came here before she got pregnant, allegedly.
Yeah.
Stayed here with his parents, got pregnant, and now is in a position where she can't fly back home. So I think it's just one of those one-off unfortunate events. But yeah, massive bill, £7,400.
Just to give birth.
When
Want
he
to,
said just to give birth, I don't think a lot of the women who are listening in would appreciate that.
Yeah, it's
we-
painful, you know.
we applaud you all.
very painful. Tell me about it. Want to boost profits, hire more women.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, it stopped there, didn't you? Large companies with no female executive committee members missed out on £47 billion last year. Research claims. So, if you
Wow.
want somebody big at the top, you
Yeah.
got to have a female representing you.
Right, okay. Well, probably one of the biggest females representations in America at the moment is probably Ellen. Have you heard of Ellen?
Yes.
Do you
yes.
watch the Ellen show?
No, I don't watch it, but I know it.
So she's kind of like the new Oprah, isn't she, really? She's really big in America. She's got her own show called The Ellen Show. But Ellen DeGeneres apologises to staff for hostile working environment. So a bit like Ramadan Radio. That's how I feel when working with you, Khalid. Hostile. Ellen DeGeneres on Thursday sent an emotional message to her staff on a television talk show saying that she was taking steps to improve the culture on set following accusations of hostile working environment. The email followed an internal investigation by Warner Brothers Television, which produces the Ellen DeGeneres show, of complaints ranging from bullying to racism amongst production staff. Warner Brothers Television said in a statement that although not all of the allegations were collaborated, we are disappointed that the primary findings of the investigation indicated some deficiencies relating to the show's day-to-day management. So, I think everything's getting a shake-up at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
At the moment. So,
So it should be as well.
yeah.
Divorce numbers surged by almost a quarter in 12 months before lockdown, representing one of the sharpest ever rises.
Okay.
Figures showed a 23% increase in number of divorces in 12 months to March. New changes that allow for divorce on demand will come into force next year. The new divorce reforms, bitterly opposed by critics who say they will lead to the destruction of more marriages, are to come into force next year. They will allow for divorce on demand, in which no husband or wife will be able to challenge their partner's request for divorce.
That's not good, really.
I don't
is it?
think it
Yeah,
is.
I
No.
know.
What they should be doing is encouraging people to maybe fix their marriage, maybe, or they
That's
just
right.
made it too easy, haven't they?
It is. And I reckon in lockdown you probably get more divorces because
People are together too much and they just
Too-
get bored off each other.
exactly, and they
Yeah.
start fighting, arguing,
Yeah.
ripping each other's heads off.
Or on the flip side, people might have had the chance to bond a bit more because a lot of people don't have time to spend with each other. So it can work both ways, but no,
Yeah.
not good readings, unfortunately.
Who was the first person to join?
Who was the first man to
Man.
accept Islam? You can either text in or ring in. And if you're listening on Facebook, the number should pop up at the screen, but I'm going to tell you anyway. The number to ring in is 01902 972 150. And if you want to text in the answer, 07440 420 432.
And at the moment, one of our youngest listeners was the bravest person in Wolverhampton to phone in, Ikra Khan. She phoned in. If you just joined us, she was our first caller, and she got her question right. But this is another new question that we've launched. Who was the first man to convert to Islam?
So how many entries have we got today? Have we just a couple of entries?
Just a couple at the
we need
moment.
to drum up some more people to call in, don't we? Or just text in if you don't want to call.
Exactly. Deepika and Priyanka to be investigated by Mumbai police.
Okay.
Deepika Padukone, I think that's her name, boasts a staggering 50.8 million followers on Instagram, while Priyanka Chopra has 55.2 million followers on her popular site. On Twitter, Deepika has 27.6 million followers, and Priyanka is close behind with 26.3 million followers. It is believed the actresses are amongst 10 other celebrities who have fake social media followers.
Wow. So they're inflating their number of followers, is that what
Yeah,
they're
and
doing?
obviously they get paid for this, don't they?
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
How many
So-
followers you got on Instagram?
I'm not on any form of I'm not on social media. I just try and avoid it at
Do
all
you?
costs, to be fair. Try and live a simple
I think
life.
between the three of us, I think Young Ari's has got the most
I
followers.
think I have about 50 million.
Yeah? And how much do you get paid a week?
None. I'm going to have to look into that.
It's actually big business now. You can actually contact companies in India, and they will get you 100,000 followers within a month.
Really?
Yeah, so
Yeah, there's like websites where you can buy followers. You can
that's
Can
right.
we buy listeners? Radio listeners?
probably not because they won't be really listening as much.
We just need someone to enter the competition.
That's
all
all.
we need.
That's all we want.
Who was the first man to accept Islam?
Yeah, I mean we don't ask for much, do we?
No.
Not much at all.
Yeah.
And if you're looking on Facebook and YouTube, right now, right in the centre, you can see a hamper. Wow.
Beautiful.
You know, if no one enters, we might as well eat them ourselves.
That hamper's only 2 bags short, courtesy of Khalid, but no, it's a fantastic prize to win, so please do enter.
Well, woman has traded this hairpin for a minivan and reveals plan for getting a house. The hairpin was exchanged for a pair of earrings and then set for a pair of margarita glasses, which were in turn swapped for a vacuum. A US woman who began a trading challenge with a hairpin has said she won't stop until she has traded up to a house. Demi Skipper, 29 years old, has had an iPhone and a minivan in her possession since her Trade Me project began 2 months ago. Among the unlikely trades, Miss Skipper from San Francisco has completed an R vacuum cleaner for a snowboard and an iPhone 11 Pro Max, and then traded it in for a Dodge Ram van. So that's amazing how you can just trade a hair clip for stuff and then keep trading it in until you get bigger things.
You know, we've actually done that, the real life version of that at work.
You
So,
have?
Yeah, so it was called the Crunchy Challenge. We were all given a bar of Crunchy,
Yeah.
and we were asked to go away, and you had 3 days and you had to try and be fair, try and trade it for as much as you can. And so I think I managed to get it up to a Star Wars toy or something like that.
How did you do that?
So I traded it for, I think it was a Snickers, because I thought if I trade it for a Snickers, I can probably
The
get rid
value
of the
goes
Snickers
up.
more. More people have Snickers. And so then I traded that Snickers for, I think it was a grab bag of crisps with somebody. Just went from there. So, managed to get it to a toy. But, a house
Fair
I think
play.
is a bit much.
Yeah.
You got 2 hair clips in your hair, haven't you?
No, I haven't got any.
Haven't you? You took them out?
Not today, no. It's all
So
natural.
loving the hair. It's kind of like sort of David Beckham-esque. Very,
Thanks.
is that what you're going for?
Well, not really. I'm just going for tied up, so it's not in my face. But
Fair enough.
remember, the competition is still on. Who was the first man to accept Islam? You can either text in, or if you ring in, that's double name on the draw.
Fireman scam. Fireman steals Xbox controller from child's bedroom as he tackles house blaze. So you trust these people to come out and put the fire out, but you don't expect them to steal, do you?
Not rob your stuff.
CCTV appears to show him rifling through the 11-year-old's boy's belongings and pinching it. The mum of two, Kerry Greenway, 28, was out with the family when her dog jumped on an electric cooker and set fire to a tea towel. Her home had suffered minor smoke damage, but son Harvey later realised that the £50 controller was missing. Another had also disappeared from the living room, and CCTV obviously showed this gentleman, a fireman, stealing his goods.
I'd sack him straight away.
Yeah, I'd sue
If he's
them.
not already
I
sacked.
think the
I'd
thieves
be
are.
so angry if someone stole my controller or something,
Yeah. No, I think the fact that you're letting these people in your houses to help and
and then trust them, and then they go and steal something. It's
Yeah,
not good.
not good at all. Well, talking about men who aren't good. So a con man who's 74, who weighs 28 stone, avoids jail because he's too fat for prison. So a con man has avoided being locked up because he's too fat and would cause an enormous disruption to the prison service.
He'd eat half the kitchen as well, wouldn't
Well, I
he?
think the Barry Birdle pocketed cash belonging to John Ryan, but was given a suspended jail term due to him weighing 28 stone. At Southampton Crown Court, Judge Peter Henry said the 74-year-old who would need carers to help him out of bed and to give medication due to his size and his poor health. He added jailing him would cause enormous disruption to the prison service, and instead handed down a 12-month prison term, suspended for 2 years. I don't know what I feel about that. So just because he's
Just
Fat.
because he's fat, he doesn't have to go to prison.
doesn't have to go to prison, no.
They can some way try to get him into somewhere, but if they just leave it,
Well,
then
technically, he's a prisoner in his own home, being 28
Yeah.
stone anyway. So
true. Well, how did he commit a crime being so fat?
I think he pocketed cash, so he stole cash.
Oh.
You weren't listening to the story, were you, Oris?
Well, I was just confused how he actually stole cash off someone.
Cybercrime, no idea, but we'll look it up after this.
Get fit, not fat. Story linking to this. If every Briton loses £5, it could save NHS £100 million.
Wow.
In an obesity wake-up call, Hancock says. The Health Secretary has today declared coronavirus a deadly wake-up call for Britain to finally deal with the obesity epidemic as well. So we all got to lose £5 each.
Well, we played football this week for the first time in a long time, so we're starting to get back on the exercise groove. Do you want to join us this week?
I might do, actually.
Okay.
I might just come down to have a look first.
Okay, look at what?
Look at my knee, looking at you.
Right, okay.
My knee's really, really bad at the moment. I need to get it fixed. Have you watched this new program on Netflix called The Indian Matchmaker?
No,
I've
but
heard of it, not
Have
seen
you
it.
heard
no,
of it?
but I think my mom was watching it, and my
Yeah.
grandma was watching it the other day.
The Indian Matchmaking, the cringe-worthy Netflix show that is a huge hit. It's apparently #1 Netflix in India,
Okay.
and it's #4 in the UK.
What's it like, blind date? Is it
The
like-
8-part documentary features elite Indian matchmaker Saima Taparia as she goes about trying to find suitable matches for wealthy clients in India and the United States. Matches are made in heaven, and God has given me the job to make it successful on earth, says Miss Taparia, who claims to be Mumbai's top matchmaker. In the series, she's jet-setting around Delhi, Mumbai and several American cities, meeting prospective brides and grooms to find out what they are looking for in a life partner. Since its release nearly 2 weeks back, Indian matchmaking has raced to the top of the charts for Netflix in India and in the UK. So
Wow.
my family's been watching it, and I think they're really enjoying it.
Is it good?
In my opinion, it's dumb because she goes places and she just has all the requirements, and she's just very struggling to get a husband. So
Have you watched it?
I watched a bit of it when it was on the TV, but I
So-
didn't find it that interesting because she was just going to all their grandmas and saying, "Oh, I want this toy, I want this, I want this, I want this much of money, I want him to be able to do this." It's just,
So what you think these women are too demanding? Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
this woman was too demanding.
She can't marry you then, can she? Oh dear. Are you looking? Is there a way forward for you? Getting a matchmaker, for your future wedding?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
What's
no.
your criteria, or does this put you on the spot? Go on.
I haven't really thought about this yet. I haven't made my criteria, so
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Well,
have to
if you
think
want
about
any
it.
if you want any advice, come to Uncle Shazad here. Shabazz.
Yeah, go to my brother. Yeah, Shazad. Yeah, he'll help you.
He will help you. Well, we'll be going into a break very, very soon. Don't forget our competition. Who was the first man to
Accept
embrace Islam? If you know the answer, do give us a call, 01902972150, or you can text us on 07440420432. After the break, we'll be back with This Day in History and a lot more in your final part of Stories of the Week. Welcome back to the third and final part of Stories of the Week. Today is the 2nd of August 2020. It's the 215th day of the year, with only 140 days left to go. This day in history, in 1610, Henry Hudson enters the bay, later named after him, the Hudson Bay. In 1776, formal signing of the US Declaration of Independence by 56 people happened in 1776, this day in history. In 1819, the first parachute jump in the United States. In 1858, Government of India transferred from East India Company to the British Crown. In 1875, the first roller skating rink opened in London. This day in history, in 1880, British Parliament officially adopts the Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. And in this day in history, in 1967, In the Heat of the Night, directed by Norman Jewison, based on John Ball's novel of the same name, starring Sidney Poitier, released today. You seen that, Shabazz?
No,
Really good film, The Heat of the Night.
it's good.
Talk about the films. Did you watch Four Lions?
Didn't get a chance to watch anything this week, unfortunately. Did you watch Cool Runnings?
Well, I tried to watch Cool Runnings, but I couldn't find it on Netflix, couldn't find it on YouTube, not on Sky either. So
Get out of here. It must be on somewhere.
no, I couldn't find it.
Really famous film, Cool Runnings.
Cool
But I'll
Runnings.
try and get you a copy. I might have one on VHS
All
at
right,
home somewhere.
thanks.
So again, mission for next week.
Four Lions.
Four Lions, Cool Runnings. We'll
Yeah.
stick to that. In 1972, gold hits record $17 an ounce in London. In 1981, England cricket all-rounder Ian Botham takes 5 for 11 to end Australia's chase of 151 targets, all out 121 for 29 run defeat in the fourth test in Edgbaston. In 1991, Space Shuttle Atlantis 9 launched. In 2012, 23 people are killed after 2 blasts in a fruit market in Lahore, Pakistan. And in 2018, Apple becomes the first American public listed company to reach $1 trillion in value.
Wow. Some really interesting news coming out for this day in history there.
Yeah,
So-
and if you're celebrating your birthday, in 1939, Wes Craven, American film director, which film did he make?
Where's Craven? He made The It,
Yeah,
did he?
A Nightmare,
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
He also died in 2015, by the way. In 1958, celebrating his birthday, Arshad Ayub, Indian cricketer, off spinner of the late 1980s. In 1968, Stefan Effenberg, German footballer, celebrating his birthday today. And in 1982 was born Ruslan Mumtaz, Indian actor who I've never heard of, and an actress called Yuvika Chaudhary, born in 1986. If you're celebrating your birthday today, we would like to know. If you're celebrating your anniversary or any form of celebrations, give us a call, 01902972150, and we will tell the world.
Just some excellent stories. I just want to touch on a couple of those, if I may.
You can.
So you said roller rinks were introduced today.
Yeah.
We don't see them anymore, do we? Roller rinks.
No, it's
So why
ice
not?
skating rings.
But why not? Because roller rink seems a lot more. You could put it up anywhere. You know.
Mm.
I mean, are you a roller skating fan? Or?
Well, I used to go to this place football every Saturday night with my friends, and sometimes people that used to go to the football in Aldersley, there was like an ice skating rink, and instead of going football, they actually went ice skating.
they?
I mean, I never did. I just played football instead. But
Too worried about hurting yourself.
well, I've never learned. I've never actually tried it. So
No, it's good fun. And just another one of the stories you mentioned about the space shuttle Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting fact. Myself and my wife have actually stood next to space shuttle Atlantis because it's now based at Cape Canaveral in Florida. So if anybody wants to, that was the last shuttle, wasn't it? That they used to go up in space.
I've actually been inside the space shuttle,
not the actual one.
the one in Cape Canaveral.
Okay, so that's a dummy one.
Yeah.
Since then they've actually
Oh,
put,
since then.
they've actually put the actual space shuttle. You
Blow
can't go.
my trumpet, I which was. There's me think I've been in the original.
Well, it's the same. It's the
Yeah.
same. But that one, it's a dummy one. That was called Inspiration.
Yeah.
But they've actually got Atlantis now. I mean, it's sort of hung up. It's open, so you can see how big it is. And you can pretty much go as close to how far you are to me. So you can't go inside, unfortunately, and you can see the battle scars of it, coming back into Earth. But I mean, I find it really interesting. My wife is extremely bored.
I love space. I love the astronaut. I love the food, the packet foods that you could buy.
So I don't want to name and shame, but Amna fell asleep at Kennedy Space Centre when she visited there with me. She found it that boring. So
Really?
I loved it. Really good.
Well, Teen makes more than £1 million importing US sweets not sold in the UK. Customers love Eno Ranstattingdom sweet treats, and he said, I think I could become a multimillionaire. Top 5 sweet sellers are Calypso Ocean Blue Lemonade, Mrs. Freshly's Oreo Chocolate Brownie, Twinkies cereal, Kellogg's US Pop Tarts Fruit Loops, and berry and pineapple Fanta drinks.
Have you had any of them, Shabazz?
I have. I've had Lifesavers. You ever had Lifesavers? They're
No, I haven't.
They're like think of a polo here. You get fruit polos.
Yeah.
They're like those. I have had a. Did you say Twinkie?
Yeah, Twinkie.
I've had a Twinkie. I've not had a Twinkie cereal, but
Yeah.
no, I love American food. I think
I've had them berry Fantas.
Yeah.
Those are quite nice.
Well, did you know when I was in year 5 and 6, I started a business at school selling fidget spinners. I
Okay.
made some profit off that when I was in primary school.
Wow.
And then when I came to secondary school, I sold cable things,
Wow.
and I made a profit off that. And then I went to phone cases, which I got
Awesome.
some money off that. And then
Did you study in school at all, or?
and then I made phone cases, and then I actually made good money selling drinks. I got the packets, and then I made drinks and sold them. They were good to sell in school.
Good for you.
And now I'm selling phone cases and AirPod cases still.
Wow.
So-
We've got an entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur, yeah.
So
it's,
I do business in school, but I haven't made $1 million.
So is that your Lamborghini parked outside? Is it? Or is it?
When I went to the US, I liked, the Skittles.
Yeah.
You could get different flavours down there.
You can, yeah.
More flavours you get down there than you get in the
Look,
UK.
I think that's with everything, though. I think. Have you been to the M&M store at all in the States?
I have.
Because they've got raspberry
We
M&Ms.
went to Las Vegas at M&M
Yes,
store.
we did. We were there together, of course. We were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had raspberry flavour. We had mint flavour.
It was beautiful.
Really
wasn't
good. Yeah.
it? Salam, guys. Aris is looking dapper like a model. I think Shabazz and Cal, you need to step up the appearances a little. Enjoy the stories as usual. That's Sadaf.
Thanks,
Thank
Ada.
you.
Appreciate it.
Gosh, we've got to step our game up, mate.
Tell you what. Absolutely. Just touching on a story from a travel perspective. So Heathrow chaos as travellers queue for hours at border and chant to get more staff. So not good news coming out of Heathrow Airport. It was hit by chaotic scenes as travellers packed into the huge queues as they returned to the UK following their summer holidays. Families were forced to wait at poorly ventilated border gate for over an hour with just 3 border force agents on duty checkpoints. Now, I really despise that when you come back off an aeroplane and you've got a queue to get your passport checked. It takes forever.
It's the worst feeling, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So footage shows fed up passengers chanting, "Get more staff," as they stood in queues to tightly packed with no social distancing in place. A mum of 3, Natalie Crane, 32, from Surrey, said, "We queued with about 500 or 600 different people with no social distancing, no ventilation, and it would have been impossible to socially distance. It was just a really packed out room." So not good news coming out of Heathrow Airport.
It's most of the airlines as well at the airports as well, especially if you've been going to countries that you think there won't be no self-isolating when you come back, and they're turning up and you've got to be self-isolated for 10 days now.
I think, what is it, Spain now? I think Luxembourg was another one of the cities. So
There's one chap, Portugal is on the list. So what he done was he flew from Portugal to Spain thinking, don't have to self-isolate, landed in the UK, and guess what?
is that
Yes,
stuff?
I-
He had to self-isolate.
So what happened if he would have just gone back to Portugal and then flew home from Portugal?
Portugal is on the list of one that you
Oh,
have
is
to
it?
self-isolate.
There you go.
Hence, he flew to Spain thinking. Rude couple's wedding invite blasted as they sort guests into 3 categories. So this is one for you to take on board when you get married, Aris, in the future. A couple who sorted their guests into categories A, B, or C. So say if somebody sent you an invite and said your invite C,
Okay.
how would you feel?
I would I'd feel fine. I think
You
they've just
reckon?
split
I
it
mean,
up, yeah.
from me seeing the list, I wouldn't be very happy.
You know, in order of priority, chose to tell family and friends which group they were on the invitation. So this is their invite, and if you're watching Facebook, there you go. That's their invite. You could see that.
Yeah.
And if you're listening in, it's just a piece of paper saying, "Dear friends and family, please understand that our venue is limited in the number of guests we will be able to accommodate for our wedding day. As much as we would love to have each and every one of you join us on our big day, we are forced to split our guests into groups to ensure we do not surpass our capacity restrictions. Group A, please RSVP as soon as possible. We appreciate your promptness as we will be able to extend any vacant seats to additional guests. Groups B and C, please keep a close watch on our wedding website for notice that we have space available. If you already know that you are unable to join us, it is helpful that you decline via the RSVP function on our website. If possible, we encourage our guests to hire a babysitter for the night and leave your children at home. As much as we love your kids, we are doing our best to make space for all the guests we can. We also ask for our single guests to forego their +1 if possible. We appreciate you understanding. You are in Group A."
I wouldn't go.
You wouldn't go, would you?
No.
I mean, now from you seeing the list or hearing the list, what would you
Yeah.
do if you're in Group C?
I wouldn't be watching it online to see if a space becomes available.
No.
If somebody wants me to be there, they'll have me there. If
Yeah.
they don't want me to be there, to be fair, there's too many weddings happening as it is, so the less the better for me.
I say to the wife, if there's a wedding, just tell them I can't make it. You know, it's easier for me not to go.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's cheaper for them as well.
It is, yeah, but they're always going to ask.
I've got another wedding coming up,
Go on.
August the 15th. And you know what? Actually, Boris Johnson has just said you can't meet up for receptions again.
There you go. So that might be off.
Well,
And do you know what else happening August 15th?
you're going on holiday?
Yes, that is correct.
Are you really?
Yeah,
As
I
in
am.
holiday abroad or?
Yeah, Bournemouth,
Oh, wow.
5 4-star hotel, so it's going to be very nice. Beach
Excellent.
view.
Wow.
Sounds good, mate. Sounds
Shiraz,
good.
it's just me and you that day. How
It
are we going
is.
to cope?
It is. But hold on a minute. Let's just check those dates out. So but when do you leave, Iris? You leave on the 15th,
15th,
yeah?
yes.
And when do you come back?
It's 17th, 18th.
So you're not going to be here on the show the 16th, and I'm not going to be here on the following week
Oh,
because
really?
I haven't told Khalid that we're going on holiday for a week as well.
Where are you
wow.
going?
So we're going to the Lake District. We've booked a cottage by Lake Windermere. So
Wow.
we're having a week break out in the
So you
sticks.
two making more money than me, going on holiday,
Don't know about
and
that.
there's me, the anchor of the show. Oh dear, someone's getting paid too much on this show.
Or just put a repeat on and you can come as well, you know.
Giving birth hurt less than a bikini wax, says Lucky Mum, who's just 1 in 100 to have a rare epidural gene. So this is coming from a woman. Romany Baldwin has not had a pain relief or an epidural, and she isn't undergoing a C-section. Instead, she's one of the lucky 1% of women who experience pain-free births.
Wow. How many kids does she have?
Doesn't
It doesn't
say.
say.
She has a rare gene variant named KCNG4. I think you've got that, haven't you?
I don't know.
Has been found to change the way pain is processed by the nervous system and acts as a natural epidural for the mother in labour. So
Lucky her.
Yeah,
she's
lucky
lucky.
her.
I wonder how many more women,
We'll want this.
well, they need this gene, don't
yeah,
they?
Yeah, they do. They do.
So
So we've got some good news coming out of, well, when I say good news, got some bad news coming from a travel perspective. I just wanted to go over the top 5 cities in Europe where you shouldn't really be travelling at the moment, if I can
shall
do
we?
that.
Can we guess them?
Yeah, so if you would say the current form, so from June the 1st till today, where would you say is the worst hit city in Europe at the moment?
Barcelona,
Or country, sorry. Let's
Spain.
go country.
Let me go Spain straight
Okay,
away.
Spain, yeah, I'm way out there at number top. It's super high amount of cases there. So I think out of per million, I think there's say 40,000 per million there in Spain. How about yourself, Ori?
Portugal.
Portugal's not on the list, no. Second place.
France.
France is in second place.
Wow.
I was
Beautiful.
actually going to say that, but
Okay, so
So
who-
you should always go with your first instinct.
third.
Mm, UK?
UK. Cal, have you seen this list?
I haven't. No, I'm just
Fine.
taking a guess.
Okay, so Spain number 1, France number 2, UK is in third place with the number of cases since the 1st of July, Germany being fourth, and Italy being in fourth place. So Italy have done really well to recover given
The start they had.
But over the world, as a total perspective, from a worldwide total coronavirus deaths and death rate case, the US is by far and away have had the most amount of deaths, unfortunately. 153,000 deaths. That's 46.8 per every 100,000. Brazil in second place with 92,000 deaths. Mexico in fourth place, and the UK being in fifth place across the whole world for a number of deaths perspective. India in sixth, closely followed by Italy and France. So I really surprised me when I saw this list. I knew US was quite badly hit, but I didn't think it was as bad as this.
It's very bad.
3 times as much as the UK from a death perspective.
Assalamu alaikum, brother Khalid, Shabazz and Ari's Eid Mubarak to you. Brilliant show as always. Always look forward to listening to you every Sunday morning. Keep up the fantastic work. That's from Sister Uzma.
Thank you, Uzma.
Thank you. One man's disturbingly graphic review of gummy bears has people crying with laughter. While the bears have might looked innocent, they were made with a sugar substitute called lycosine, which contains the sugar alcohol maltitol. The ingredient is safe for most to eat. However, when consumed in large amounts, it can cause gas, bloating, and diarrhea. A man named Josh gave the sweets 1 star and posted a particularly graphic but amusing review comparing the aftermath to an iconic scene from Game of Thrones. Joshua said, "I sit here writing this review at 4 a.m. from my porcelain throne, a fixture you will become all too familiar with if you choose to eat these cute little bears from the pits of hell." So when I was a kid, I knew about gummy bears. They were like
Did you know
top
the
sweets.
side effect that you have by eating too many gummy bears?
No, I didn't know that.
No.
So they basically give you diarrhea.
Basically, a lot of diarrhea, yeah.
Right, okay. So stay away from
So
gummy
if
bears.
anyone's listening and you like gummy bears, don't eat too much of them.
Yeah. Open all hours. Shopkeeper retires after working 38 years without a single day off, including Christmas Day.
He must be Asian.
Roy Cabardano. What does Roy stand for?
I don't know.
Ryan,
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, Ryan.
Rahul, maybe.
Yeah. 62 ran a convenience store 7 days a week, even opening for.
I know it's quite yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that story's kind of hit. It fell on his bum.
Just about.
Yeah.
Anyway, the father of 3 reckons he worked 13,004.
Go on, Gary. What's making you laugh? Go on. Is it the fact that he was an Asian chap? Is that what it is?
Named Roy.
Named Roy.
Oh gosh.
Well,
Anyway.
actually, talking about that, didn't your dad have an English name when he used to have a shop?
Andy.
Andy. There you go. There you
Andy
go.
ice creams.
Andy ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah.
And why was that? Why did they call him Andy?
I think the van actually came with Andy's name on there.
Oh, and it just stuck.
So it stuck to him. So everyone saw him, Andy.
Oh, right.
So
okay.
that was his nickname,
Right,
Andy.
okay.
Anyway, I've got over it now. So Mr. Roy, I'll call him Mr. Roy.
Yeah.
Father of 3, he reckons he's worked 13,416 days straight. He owns a store, Testwood Stores in Southampton. And in 1982 said, "People think I am bonkers. I worked every day for 38 years." That's a proper man, isn't
He's a
it?
proper
Yeah.
man, yeah. But I think he's probably one of many
Yeah.
in our communities.
I remember my dad, he used to work the coal mines at night.
Wow.
He used to run the shop during the day. And in between, he used to have the ice cream van. So
Fair play.
when did he sleep? I never saw my father sleep.
So that's where Ariz gets his entrepreneurial skills from, I think. That's his
Runs in the blood,
runs in
doesn't
the
it?
genes, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, tenants freaked out to learn letting agent has secretly been living in their house. A tenant has shared a rather creepy tale, claiming that letting agent secretly started a living inside their house after coming over to do a random inspection. A member of the house share in London has claimed that they discovered it's been like living in the house secretly. The creepy story was shared on Reddit as they sought advice on how to handle the bizarre situation. The unnamed tenant said that their letting agent had come over to unannounced earlier this week to inspect the property. They left him to get on with it and had assumed he exited the place short while after. However, they soon discovered a light had been left on in their spare room and the door was locked. So they messaged asking the letting agent to return and switch it off as they didn't have the key. So what would you do if you found someone secretly living in your house that you didn't know about?
I would not be happy.
I'm sure there's a film out there that someone's actually living in the house and they're stalking them.
And
And they're living
Yeah,
underground.
yeah, I
Wow.
think so.
I'm sure it's on Sky somewhere, but yeah, very scary. Another message. Hi, it's Babita from Wolverhampton. Please can you wish our daughters a happy 13th birthday to our lovely Kaya and Kyra. Wishing our babies having a great day. Enjoy their presents, which they most richly deserve. Love them millions. Lots of love always and forever. That's from their mom and dad.
Well, happy birthday.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday.
13 years old. Twins as well, like yourself.
Yep, fantastic. Do you ever get the feeling like you're being watched, Carl?
All the time.
Okay. Not on Facebook, of course, on the show, but in general. Do you ever feel
Yeah,
like you're being
I think you got to be wary now because I think
Yeah.
everywhere you look at the moment,
CCTV.
it's everywhere.
Well, it's funny you say that, Aris, because more than 1 billion CCTV cameras will be in operation around the world by the end of next year, as London comes third in a list of the 20 most surveillance cities. So the world will be watched by an astonishing 1 billion CCTV cameras by the end of next year. Well, 18 of the top 20 most surveilled cities are in China, known for its state crackdowns. London comes a surprisingly third in the league table. The capital has 1 camera per every 15 people, a new study revealed, a level beaten by only 2 cities, Toyang with 1 camera for every 80 residents,
Wow.
and Wuxi 1 in 11. So yeah, there's,
Don't go to China.
or even London for that matter. You know, it's 1 camera for every 15 people.
In a way, it's safe as well, isn't it?
It is safe, yeah. I think if it's used for the right things, I think. But
Very
you
good.
know, yeah.
Nearly time to say goodbye.
Well, so do you think we should give the answer?
I think
The
so.
competition question.
Or
Well,
the one they've already given out, or the new one.
the new one.
Yeah.
Well, the question was who was the first man to accept Islam? So it is Abu Talib. That
Abu
is the
Talib.
answer.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
And
No,
we've only had a few winners.
Congratulations to whoever won that.
Ikra Khan and Sister Naseem are in the
draw.
draw again. And the other one was, of course, which city did our prophet die? And that was Medina Sharif. Once again, time has caught up. We've got a recorded voice of Ajaz coming up next because he's not in the studio
You're not
today.
supposed to tell people it's recorded.
Well, you know, they'll probably be last week's show repeated again today.
Right, okay.
You know, they're probably going mad. Ah, I've heard all that before. Anyway, when I see Ajaz next time, I've got some questions to ask him as well.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you both again. Been a pleasure having
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you again next week until you all go on
Right.
your holidays. Until next time, next Sunday, 10:30.
Al Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz.